This is CGTN, China Global Television Network.
And heading to Tunisia now, the country's housing market is slowly recovering after a pandemic-induced slowdown that was witnessed in the better part of last year. Now, according to the country's statistics agency, the real estate price index edged up 15.4% in the second quarter of 2021, and that's compared to the same period last year. Well, CGTN's Annette Shaoxi brings us up to speed with the latest data.
Tunisia's real estate price index edged up due to the increase by 23.7% in house prices compared to an average of 5.1% in 2015-2020. The North African state recorded a rise in building land prices, which jumped 15.9% compared to the average of 5.7% witnessed in the 2015-2020 period. Apartments prices also rose as growth increased by 11.6%.
The resumption of activity was slowed down by the second wave of the pandemic. Things will get better as the health situation improves. Some property development projects lasted much longer than expected. This situation impacted the cost of housing and the price index. Many companies are suffering from this prolonged crisis.
Despite the slight improvement recorded in the housing sector, many Tunisians say they cannot own a house or an apartment due to their high costs.
Tunisians, especially young adults, cannot own a house. The salaries are too low while the prices are very high. Prices have skyrocketed in recent years. I've given up on the idea of buying an apartment in Tunis.
Our purchasing power is too low while the cost of living is high. Even a couple with two salaries cannot afford to buy a house. Banks are rejecting loan requests because people cannot pay back the expensive loans.
The Director General of Housing at the Ministry of Equipment, Housing and Infrastructure agrees that the real estate market is facing many challenges which hamper its development.
State-owned construction companies and private property developers are facing the problem of land scarcity, high land costs and development, as well as rising inflation in the prices of construction materials over the past decade. The state is trying to find solutions by offering affordable houses for the middle and poor classes, but meeting this goal is challenging.
According to the National Institute of Statistics, the real estate price index went up by 6.8% due to the rise by 7.8% in house prices, 6.7% in building land prices, and 6.6% in flat prices compared to the first quarter of 2021. The INS report also showed that the volume of real estate transactions dropped by 11.1% in the second quarter of 2021 compared to the first quarter of the same year. However, experts assert that the steady recovery of the property sector will continue after the slowdown experienced since 2020. Adel Shawishi, CGTN, Tunis.